call a backup tank. So if for some reason you had to evacuate your residence, then those people sometimes get very anxious during that evacuation. So we have to give you some oxygen that doesn't run by electricity so that he could be transported to whatever your situation is. Or let's say your backup system, your generator system failed, then there's always oxygen here. Okay? So that's why
It's
there's
the
a
portable one, Brenda.
Yeah.
You can go outside.
Now, how long does this one last?
depends on the prescription.
Okay.
Let's go with the number 2. Number 2 is a usual prescription for most people. This size tank would last 5.5 hours on the number 2.
Okay.
And if you're using it, then you just call and say, I'm using Clark's tank, and we'll come and replenish them. You folks don't have to go out anywheres. So I'll leave you instructions of how this is done, but I'm going to show you today. And this is cool, and bear with us. This just pulls off, and all this is a dust cap. So when I take that off, it's exposed the area that the oxygen's going to come out of, which is the larger circle. And you have to put a regulator on, which is this, to make that air come out. So there's a seal and 2 little teeth. So if you look at this, excuse me.
So big one and small one. So that will be.
So if I look at this and I line it up,
Yeah,
you open the wing nut. If you put that all the way down, okay? Come on over, Ivy. Put your hands on here, and I want you to pull it up. Oh, see how it slipped in? Now tighten the wing nut.
And that's gonna go wrong with that.
If it's in there, there's
There's
nothing.
nothing. And the key's to open that up, isn't it?
Yeah, so they say just hand tighten, okay, which is what you've done. This little triangle says off. So that's where you want it before you start. Now, if you girls will come behind me, I want you to look at this gauge.
Okay.
If I take the wrench and I put it on the top while I'm looking at the gauge, and I turn away from me, you're gonna see this little needle rise.
Okay.
So green is full,
Okay.
red is empty.
All right.
Okay.
Warning.
Now
Yeah, the
all
white is the warning.
all this did, and you really only have to turn it to where that handle is. All that did was allow the oxygen to come from the tank into the regulator. But to get it to Clark, you'd have to put his nasal tube on here. You just take his